To solve this nonlinear systems of equations, we want to isolate a variable, and it appears to me that the easiest one would be here for this one. So x squared minus y equals 1. Move the x squared to the right. Change the sign. Divide everything by -1. And you should come up with y equals x squared minus 1. You can insert that into this y here. When we do that, we come up with this. 2x plus 3 times x squared minus 1. And then equals 13. So let's simplify this by distributing the 3 to come up with 2x plus 3x squared minus 3 equals 13. Remember, you need to have the quadratic equation in this form. So we have 3x squared plus 2x minus 3, and we move the 13 to the left. Simplify the constants at the end. The quadratic formula will give me -2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times a -16 over 2 times 3. So simplify under the square root sign to come up with 4 plus 16 times 12 is going to give me 192. And if you add that with the 4, you'll get a perfect square of 196, whose square root happens to be 14. So now you have two problems to do. -2 plus 14 over 6 and -2 minus 14 over 6. On the left-hand side, that's going to be 12 over 6, which is 2. On the right-hand side, -16 over 6 is a -8 over 3. So you must take those two answers, 2 and -8 over 3, back to the top. And we'll pick an easy equation. Let's try the second one. 2x plus 3y equals 13. 2x plus 3y equals 13, and insert 2 in for x. Simplify to get a 4 plus 3y equals 13, and move the 4 to the right. On the right side you'll get a 9. If you divide 9 by 3, you get a 3. So we inserted 2 and came back with a 3. There's one of our solutions. 2x plus 3y equals 13. We'll do that one again, and this time it's going to be with a -8 over 3 in for x. So when you simplify, you get a -16 over 3, and you're going to have to move that to the right side, leaving 3y on the right, a plus 16 over 3, or 3y is on the left and plus 16 over 3 on the right. A common denominator of 3 will give us 39 over 3 plus 16 over 3, which is 55 over 3. You're going to divide the 55 over 3 by 3, and that's the same as multiplying by 1/3. 55 over 9 can be reduced or put into a mixed number. 9 into 55 6 times with 1 left over. So remember, we put in a -8 over 3, which is equivalent to a -2 and 2/3. That's what we put in, and we came back with 6 and 1/9. So there are your two answers. For this one, it looks like this would be the easiest to deal with. So x squared minus y equals 47. Keep the minus y where it's at. Move the x squared to the right. Divide everything by -1. And then insert this into the other equation for y in this spot. When you do that, you have 2x plus 6 times x squared minus 47. And you're setting that equal to 26. Simplify by distributing the 6 through the parentheses to get 6x squared minus 6 times 47, which is 282. So now we have 6x squared, 2x, minus 282, and we have to move the 26 over to the left. Simplify the constants at the end. A negative 282 and then minus 26 will be minus 308. Now you can make this easier to deal with by dividing everything by 2. 3x squared plus x, and then 308 divided by 2, 154. You can use the quadratic equation from here to get a negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 squared minus 4 times 3 times a negative 154 over 2 times 3. Simplify under the square root sign to get 1 plus 4 times 3 times 154, which is 1848. And clearly that's going to give us an 1849 under the square root sign. Check to see if that's a perfect square by putting in the square root of 1849 in the calculator and coming back with a 43. So you have two problems to do now. You have negative 1 plus 43 over 6 and negative 1 minus 43 over 6. 42 over 6 will give us an answer of 7. And on the other side, a negative 44 over 6 will give us a negative 22 over 3. So you're going to have to take 7 and negative 22 over 3 to the top and plug those back in for x. I'm going to try 2x plus 6y equals 26. 2x plus 6y equals 26, and insert a 7 in for x, which will give us a 14 in this spot that we're going to have to move over to the right side and change it to minus 14. And you'll come up with a 12. Divide by 6 to get a 2. So you've put in a 7 and came back with a 2 for that x value. Now 2x plus 6y equals 26. We're going to plug in negative 22 over 3. And that gives us a negative 44 over 3 in that position. We're going to have to move that over to the right side. Change the sign. Make it plus 44 over 3. You need a common denominator of 3, so 26 times 3 is going to be 78. So we'll make it 78 over 3, 44 over 3. 78 plus 44 is 122. We have to divide 122 over 3 by 6. When you do that, it's the same as multiplying by 1 over 6. So 122 over 18. That can reduce down to 61 over 9. And then make it a mixed number. 9 goes into 61 6 times with 7 left over. So remember, you plugged in a negative 22 over 3, which is the same thing as a negative 7 1/3. And you came back with 6 7/9.